So how's it going, everybody? Thank you once again for stopping by my channel. Please don't forget to hit that subscribe button, but only if you like my stuff, of course. And click that little thumbs up thing. Give me a big thumbs up. Comment down below also. Everything you do as far as interacting with my channel really helps me out, and I do appreciate it. Man, I got an itch on my ear, and I got my helmet on, and my gloves. This sucks. Just to explain here real quick before we get going, I've had, I don't know, 6 or 7 different motorcycles. Started out on my little Ninja 300, and just over the last few years, I've had quite a few other ones. Little Grom, Little Monkey, Vulcan S, Honda Shadow, CB650. I never really rode that one, though. And just, other bikes. And now this one. I still have my Monkey, and I still have this bike, obviously, because I'm sitting on it. What the heck is that? So what I got to thinking about was, I think it's time to take a break from buying motorcycles. So in today's video, I just kind of wanted to talk about what I'm going to challenge myself to do for at least a year, maybe even 2. When I spoke about having other hobbies and well, just for instance, like say, if you're into shooting, you target shoot and stuff like that, you can't just have one gun. Even in what's called 3-gun competition, well, you need 3 guns. Typically, it's like a semi-automatic rifle of some form, like an AR-15, AK-47, and then you'd have a shotgun and then a handgun. Well, in all the other hobbies that I've ever had, I always kind of go way overboard as far as having things that have to do with that hobby. Why is it so freaking cold out here? It says it's 50 degrees and I'm freezing my butt off. From the time when I was just a wee lad, every time I got into a hobby, I could never just be happy with just, a small amount of things that had to do with that hobby. Like I'm sure all of you, or most of us anyways, when we were younger, we like to play with Legos or Barbie dolls, G.I. Joes, Hot Wheels, whatever the heck it was. And I can remember that when I was kind of in my early teens, mid-teens, I had, when I was still living with my parents, before I was homeless, I had like a lot of Legos and Transformers and things. I mean, like a big giant 5-gallon bucket full of Legos, because I could never just have like a couple of kits and be happy with it. Later on in life, in my mid-20s, I started collecting video games, like from the PlayStation era, Nintendo 64, Sega Dreamcast, Nintendo GameCube, Xbox original one, just you name it. All the video game systems. I had a whole bunch of games for them. It was like it's like an addiction. You can't stop spending on your hobbies and things. And I mean, I had like tons of video game systems, like 26 different video game systems and like 600 video games for those systems and everything. And after a while, I'd kind of gotten out of that. And I wish I would have kept them, honestly, because some of those things are worth a mint now. But after that, when I had me and my wife and kids moved back up here to Washington State, I got into target shooting. And, after I started that, it was a big, huge rabbit hole. And I ended up owning, I think it was at one time, I had 56 guns. And that's a lot. I mean, I had to start getting rid of them because I honestly would get to the point where I'd forget where I put some of them. Not that I'd leave them, hanging out in grocery store parking lots and just laying in somebody's yard and stuff, but in my house. I'd have one stashed in this room, one in that room, and one in a backpack here, one in my car, and I'd just forget about them. And so I kind of decided, well, I should probably just start getting rid of some of these things. I don't shoot them all that often anyways, and it's kind of growing out of favor. But so now with the motorcycle thing, having owned a lot of bikes, comparatively speaking, having only ridden a few years and having already owned like 7 motorcycles up to this point, that's kind of a lot for somebody who's only, hasn't been riding all that long, excuse me. So what I'm going to do is just force myself to not buy another motorcycle for quite a while. I won't say it's going to be, you know, like 2, 3, 5, 10 years or whatever the heck it is, because there's going to be some really cool things coming out as far as motorcycles are concerned in the future. I mean, there already are. I mean, right now, man, I'm forcing myself, and I'm going to force myself to stay away from this little bike. Now, I know a lot of you guys out there may not be fans of scooters, but I don't care what it is. If it's got 2 wheels and I think it's cool, I'd ride it. I mean, that's the whole reason why I bought a Grom to start with, because those things are just badass. I don't care who you are. If you can't have fun on a Grom, there's something wrong with you upstairs. But Honda has this, it's called an ADV 150. And I'll put a little picture of it on the screen. But that thing, it is just freaking cool. It's like a little, I don't know, it's like a scooter version of the Africa Twin. And it's just such a cool little bike. I would honestly love to own one. And they're really not all that much money. And I've thought to myself, you know, we should buy one of those. And we should ride the wheels off of it. And just enjoy the hell out of it. And I almost bought one. Almost. I mean, I came like this close. You see that? Like that close to buying one. Man, it's so cold out here. Every time I come to a stop, visor starts fogging up. Gotta crack it open, and that means I gotta smell the exhaust of this stinky Suzuki in front of me. But anyways, God, that is terrible. Like I said, I almost bought one of those things because they're like $4 grand, $4,200, something like that. And I was just gonna wander on down to the Honda dealership, you know, save up a few paychecks, go down there and say, here, I want one of these, get me one. And then, well, I got that fateful call from my landlord saying, you know what, you should get the hell out of my house. And I said, well, okay. And that ended that dream. So anyways, I'm going to force myself to not meander down to the Honda dealership anytime soon and put one of those things on order. Not that I can't afford it, because I'm sure I could squeeze it in there. But I really do need to just force myself to not buy any more bikes, because I want to build a garage in my house. And not just like any garage, you know, just like a square box or something like that, but you know, I got these ideas for, you know, a nice, maybe even like a single car garage with an attached shop to it, with maybe even a loft in it. You know, someplace, I mean, having a garage with a staircase and like a cool little rec room upstairs, how cool would that be? And it wouldn't even have to be all that big, just someplace with a little TV and a fridge, and, you know, just some place to chill out and play video games while I stare at my bike. I mean, how cool would that be, right? But having a nice little place where I can hang out and play video games, you know, drink a dew or something like that, and maybe have a beer every now and then, and, you know, just hang out. Just a cool little garage. A lot of guys dream about that kind of stuff, and now that I finally own my own house, I think I want to make that happen. And I want to have a place in there where I can have, like, set up my woodworking tools. You know, not a lot, just like a miter saw and a table saw, and some place to set up a couple of sawhorses where I can, you know, just build things. That way I can build things and improve my house, and you know, just make it a nice home to live in, because I want to do that for my family. You know, I want to be able to come home to my house and just walk in the door and go, right on, I like this is cool, this is my house. So we're gonna do that. Now, I'm not saying y'all have been up this road before. Of course, it was a different time of year and it was much more colorful. COVID, I'm not saying that I'm not gonna, you know, try to test ride bikes. I'm gonna test ride bikes, but I want to do all that stuff, and I want to, you know, just experience other motorcycles and things like that. But I'm just gonna force myself to not buy anymore. Ooh, is that a nice happy view? Probably, but I gotta go. Yeah, there's snow on the hills over there. So I'm going to challenge myself to not, like I said, not buy another bike. I mean, you gotta admit, guys, I mean, bikes are, you can get a used bike for anywhere from like nothing to a few grand, a couple $1,000s. You can buy a brand new bike for less than $10,000. And even if you were to make payments on it, you know, I make payments on this, I'll straight out come and say it, I don't care. I'm making payments on this. I worked it into my budget so I could afford to have a nice Harley-Davidson. Isn't it cool? Look at these bars. They're pretty sweet, huh? But yeah, I just got to stay away from getting another bike because I want to save up the money to make my garage happen, and that's something that I would kind of like to document for the channel. It'd probably take a while to build it. I don't know if you guys are, any of you are in construction, but the price of lumber right now is just insane. I mean, we're talking like $8 for a 2x4, $40 for a sheet of plywood. But so my plan for building a garage, that's gonna have to wait until the price of lumber comes down. I can't do anything about that but sit around and wait. So another idea, or a reason for purposely limiting myself to how many bikes I own right now. So I got this one, I got the Monkey. Monkey doesn't really count, it's a half a bike. There we go. Can you see that? Look at the sun coming off the top of that hill. Beautiful. Anybody behind me? Nope. Check it out. Man, that's gorgeous. It's gonna start getting real cold soon. But yeah. So the Monkey's like a half a bike. Man, stop for 2 seconds, my visor fogs up. I am freezing my ass off out here. Couldn't find my cold weather gloves, so I'm trying to make do with these. So the Monkey's gonna be my half a bike. I will still ride that around and make vlogs and things on it, but as far as primary motorcycle is concerned, this is it. My Street Bob. Hang on a second, I got a cough. Okay, but this one's going to be my primary motorcycle for the foreseeable future, and I really kind of want to challenge myself to really get to know this bike and become friends with this bike, and you know, bond with it, because you bond with your bike. That Vulcan, I love that bike. It was awesome. In the long term, I wanted something a little bit more of the cruiser experience, hence why I'm on this Harley. But I started to bond with that Vulcan a lot. I mean, I got to know just how it felt. It's like being with a girl, or, you know, for you ladies, when you're with a guy for a while, you get to know him. You know, it's like you want to climb into bed with him and you feel him, and, well, keep it PG here. You get to know that person, and you get to know your motorcycle, its ins and outs, and you know, what it likes, what it doesn't like, how you handle it, and how you talk sweet to it on a Saturday afternoon. So me and this bike are going to spend a lot of time together over this next coming year. I want to do some road trips in state. I'm not going to go out of state, probably not, unless under some very unusual and very fortunate circumstances I have the opportunity to go on a longer road trip, maybe over to the west coast. I hate these freaking roads, so bumpy. Then I'll do that, but I have a couple of them in mind, you know, just little day trips. There's a little town just north of here called Leavenworth, and it's a little town. It looks like it's right out of the Swiss Alps, a little Bavarian town, and they got all kinds of cool little shops over there, and restaurants and bars and things. So when this dumb COVID crap is all over and when the weather turns really nice, I want to take a ride over there and document that, so I can share it with you guys, and you know, share it with my wife so she can watch it and all that stuff. But you know, that as far as like you know, little road trips like that, I want to have, you know, stuff for me that I can do. Take trips on a motorcycle more, because I did it, you know, I've only done it a couple times since I've been riding, and that was just short, you know, probably 40-50 mile trips up to Ellensburg and back through the canyon, which is an awesome ride, by the way. You guys saw the canyon from beginning to end on that very boring Monkey video that I posted several months back. yeah, that's a great ride though, but that's not the end of the ride. The ride continues after you go through that canyon. There's much more to it, going all the way up through the Cascade Mountains, and yeah, there's a lot to it. Oh yeah. We're gonna stop again with the tree in the way. So yeah, I mean, I want to bond with this bike so I can get to know its quirks and just everything about it, because I'm just so enjoying this bike since I bought it. Especially now I got these handlebars on here. I'm waiting on the rest of my kit, but I got my forward controls and my handlebars down where I wanted them to be. I liked the ape hangers, but they made my hand go numb after about an hour. I don't know, I guess I'm just getting old. Over there, you can see where I'm pointing. I hope you can see that gorge over there. That's Yakima Canyon. It follows the river down through there. That's where I rode that monkey video is posted, going through that gorge over there. And then you can go all the way up to Ellensburg, and then on and on. Man, I swear I don't have COVID. It's just cold out here. Yeah, so getting to know this bike and just having some fun on it, just doing some really cool things. That dude over here is like, slow your shit down. I'll go ahead and call the cops. So yeah, Harley-Davidson, me and you are going to do some little road trips here and there together, just so we can get to know each other. And so I can save up money to build a garage. And yeah, because I don't know, you know, all the bikes that I bought over the years, you know, I kind of think to myself, well, if I would have just hold on to that money, you know, I could have had more in savings. But it doesn't really matter, you know, what you spend your money on, as long as you're enjoying yourself. Because like they say, I mean, you can't take it with you when you die. And that has always been my outlook on life, you know. I've never been a big planner for retirement, because most people don't really retire until they're, you know, in their upper 60s and sometimes in their 70s. And, you know, by that time you're almost just too old to really enjoy the fruits of your labor. Man, y'all are just getting some views like mad today. Look at that. So anyways, I think we're at the end of the road, literally. Ooh, pop. Yep, we're at the end of the road. I can't go any farther, guys. I'm sorry. I gotta shut up now because this is it. We're done. Can't go any farther. Let me know in the comments down below if you guys, any of you guys just own one bike and you're perfectly happy with it and it does everything you need. Or if maybe you have one bike and you just want something else. You know, I'm sure I'm not the only guy out there that likes to have more than one bike. An advantage of having more than one bike is if one of them breaks down, you always got a backup bike. 2 is 1 and 1 is none. I've always been like that with cars too. Always had more than one car. But, by the way, I still do hate that stupid kickstand. I gotta do something about that. Grind the bottom off and make it smooth or something. So, anyways, you guys, I want to say thank you once again for checking out the video. I have no idea what I'm going to do for a thumbnail on this one. And I got a long ride back home. Well, it's not really long, but it's long when it's cold outside. But comment down below. Give me your thoughts. What do you guys think? Will I make it? Will I make it very long without buying another bike? I kind of hope so. Yeah. So anyways, thanks for watching the video. Until next time, we will talk at you later, everybody. Ride safe and have a good day.